Hi, I'm Jasmine. I always thought I had good judgment about people until my water broke 3 weeks early in our apartment, and Derek looked at me like I'd just announced the apocalypse. Babe, we need to go to the hospital now. I was clutching my stomach as another contraction hit. Right now? Can't you hold it? I've got plans with the guys tonight. That should have been my final warning sign after 9 months of red flags. But when you're about to push a human out of your body, you kinda hope the father might step up. The hospital waiting room was cold and bright. Derek kept checking his phone while I was filling out paperwork between contractions. I'm gonna grab a coffee real quick. That was the last thing he said before disappearing. 20 minutes later, I was still alone, getting wheeled into a delivery room with my overnight bag. Your husband will need to put on scrubs when he gets back, the nurse said. He's not my husband, just my boyfriend. He'll be back soon. Even as I said it, I knew it wasn't true. The pain was getting worse, and his phone was going straight to voicemail. Jasmine? Are you alone? A tall man in an expensive suit stood in my doorway, looking concerned. Who are you? Maxwell Reed. I own this hospital. I was doing rounds when I heard the nurses talking about a woman whose partner left. No one should go through this alone. I didn't have time to question why a billionaire hospital owner was offering to help me, because another contraction hit like a freight train. I called your emergency contact. Sophia is on her way, he said, checking my chart. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. Where is the baby's father? I started crying, partly from pain and partly from humiliation. Gone, probably with his friends at the bar. This isn't even the worst thing he's done. Do you want to talk about it? Might help distract you until your friend arrives. Between contractions, I told Maxwell how Derek borrowed money from my savings for a business opportunity that mysteriously never materialized. How he convinced me to put his name on my car title but not the loan. How his mother Valerie always made excuses for him. Jazz, I'm here! Sophia burst into the room, hair wild, still wearing her work uniform. That jerk actually left you? After everything? You must be Sophia, Maxwell said, standing up. I'll give you two some privacy. Wait, I grabbed his sleeve. Thank you. 8 hours later, little Clara came screaming into the world. Sophia held my hand. The nurses were amazing, but no Derek in sight. My phone showed 12 missed calls from him, starting around bar closing time. As I held my daughter for the first time, Maxwell appeared in the doorway with flowers. Congratulations, Jasmine. You did this on your own strength. That's something to be proud of. Looking at Clara's perfect face, I made a promise right then. No more chances for Derek. He'd abandoned us when we needed him most, and someday he'd regret it. 3 weeks into motherhood, and I was surviving on caffeine and Maxwell's unexpected kindness. He'd arranged for a postpartum doula and had groceries delivered to my apartment. I was changing Clara's diaper when pounding on my door nearly gave me a heart attack. Jasmine, open up! I know you're in there! Derek stood there, unshaven and reeking of desperation. Where the hell have you been? You won't answer my calls and now some rich dude is sniffing around my family? Your family? You disappeared during labor. I freaked out. It was too much pressure. But I'm here now and I want to see my daughter. I blocked the doorway. 3 weeks too late. I have rights. I'm her father. Where were you when she was born? When I was up all night with her colic? When the pediatrician needed family medical history? Derek shoved past me, scanning the apartment. Nice flowers. Gifts from your new sugar daddy? Get out. Not without seeing my kid. He marched toward the nursery. My phone buzzed, Maxwell checking in like he did daily. I quickly texted SOS. 10 minutes of Derek's fake cooing at Clara later, my doorbell rang. This a bad time? Maxwell stood there with Sophia, both looking concerned. Derek sized up Maxwell. So you're the billionaire trying to steal my family. Interesting perspective from someone who abandoned them at the hospital. Sophia pulled me aside. Jazz, he was with Tiffany that night. Greg told me everything. They've been seeing each other for months. My blood boiled. You left me in labor to hook up with Tiffany? Derek stuttered. Greg's lying. I was just having drinks, got too wasted to drive back. Strange. Maxwell checked his phone. Because the security footage from my hotel shows you checking in with a blonde at 8:43 p.m. Shall we watch it together? Derek's face drained of color. Another knock. Perfect timing. Valerie, Derek's mother. What's this ambush? My son is just trying to see his child. Mrs. Collins. Maxwell nodded politely. Did you know your son emptied Jasmine's savings account before abandoning her at the hospital? He would never. Derek just needed a little space. Men get overwhelmed with babies. Sophia snorted. Like when he needed space from his last girlfriend when she got pregnant? The one who mysteriously miscarried after he pushed her during an argument? That was an accident, Derek shouted. I felt sick. What are you talking about? His ex before you, Sophia explained. He never told you? Lies, Valerie shrieked. My son is a good man. Maxwell handed me his tablet. Your joint account statements. Notice the withdrawals? 5,000 last month, 8,000 2 months ago. I scrolled through, stunned. That's my down payment savings. You said it was for our new place. And the car loan is 3 months behind, Maxwell added. You said you were making payments? I was shaking. I was going to catch up. This rich jerk is just trying to make me look bad. You don't need help with that, Maxwell said calmly. The apartment manager also mentioned several noise complaints about parties while Jasmine was on bed rest. Derek lunged at Maxwell, but Sophia stepped between them. Touch him, and I'll have you arrested faster than you can say deadbeat dad. After Derek and his mother finally left, I collapsed on the couch, cradling Clara against my chest. I can't believe he has the nerve to demand anything, I said, wiping angry tears. Maxwell sat across from me, his expression calculated. We need a strategy. Men like Derek don't just go away. What kind of strategy? One that exposes who he really is, not just to you, but to everyone. Sophia plopped down beside me. I'm in. That jerk deserves whatever's coming. We spent the next hour developing a plan. Maxwell made calls while Sophia reached out to Greg. Greg agreed to meet us tomorrow, Sophia said, hanging up. Says he's got dirt that'll bury Derek for good. The next day at a quiet coffee shop, Greg slid into our booth looking nervous. Derek's gonna kill me if he finds out I'm talking to you. He won't, I promised. Just tell us what you know. Greg fidgeted with his coffee cup. It's not just Tiffany. There have been others. But that's not the worst part. Remember that investment opportunity he was so excited about? It was a gambling debt. He owes some scary dudes serious cash. How much? Maxwell asked. 20 grand at least. He's been taking money from everyone. His mom, you, even swiped his boss's corporate card once. I felt sick. That's why he emptied our account? There's more, Greg continued. He's been subletting your apartment on weekends when you visited your parents. That's where he'd bring girls. My hands shook so hard I nearly dropped my coffee. In our bed? And he's got a burner phone. That's how he coordinates everything without you knowing. After Greg left, Maxwell laid out the next phase. I've hired a forensic accountant. We'll trace every penny he took. Now, for the trap, we need to catch him in action. We decided to set up a fake investment opportunity, one so tempting Derek couldn't resist. Maxwell would pose as a potential investor in a startup, with me as the connection. 3 days later, my phone buzzed with a text from Valerie. What are you planning? Derek told me everything. You're trying to frame him with your rich boyfriend. I've raised a good son. I called her immediately. Your good son stole thousands from me and cheated while I was giving birth. He made mistakes, but he deserves another chance. Stop this vindictive scheme. Did he tell you about the gambling debts? Or subletting our apartment for hookups? Silence, then. You're lying. I'm warning you, back off or I'll file for grandparent rights. After hanging up, I discovered more chaos. A notice taped to my door revealed Derek hadn't paid rent in 3 months despite taking my portion each month. He's put us $4,500 in the hole, I told Maxwell and Sophia that evening. Eviction is next. Not happening, Maxwell said firmly. I've purchased your building's mortgage note. You're not going anywhere. Why are you helping me so much? Maxwell hesitated. My sister went through something similar. Nobody helped her. We finalized our plan that night. Sophia would lure Derek to a meeting with Maxwell's fake investment opportunity. Meanwhile, I'd arranged for everyone Derek had wronged to be there. His ex he'd pushed, people he owed money, his boss. "Tomorrow we end this," I said, looking at Clara sleeping peacefully. "For both of us." Sophia raised her glass. "To justice." Maxwell placed a supportive hand on mine. "Are you ready for this?" I nodded, feeling stronger than I had in months. More than ready. The conference room at Maxwell's office building was packed. Derek strutted in like he was about to close the deal of a lifetime, then froze when he spotted me. "What's she doing here?" This was supposed to be a private meeting. "Change of plans," Sophia said, sliding past him to join me. Derek's boss stood up. "So this is where you've been when you called in sick these past 3 weeks?" Derek backed toward the door. "I can explain. The corporate card charges to Vegas casinos, the missing client files." His boss crossed his arms. "We've been building a case for weeks." "You're fired, effective immediately," another executive added. "This is a setup," Derek pointed at me. "She's trying to ruin me because I missed one doctor's appointment." "One appointment?" His ex-girlfriend emerged from the back of the room. "You pushed me downstairs." The room erupted as more people stepped forward. The landlord, 3 betting buddies he owed money to, even Tiffany herself. "You said you were single!" Tiffany yelled. "You had me in their apartment while she was pregnant." Derek lunged toward me. "You vindictive—" Maxwell stepped between us. "That's enough. Security?" 2 guards appeared, restraining Derek as a police officer entered. "Derek Collins? We have some questions about fraudulent credit card charges and theft by deception." As they escorted him out, Valerie burst in, spotted me, and charged over. "What have you done? This is all your fault." "No, it's your fault," I said calmly. "You raised him to believe he could do whatever he wanted without consequences. He's a good boy. He just needed guidance." The room fell silent as the pastor from her church stepped forward. "Valerie, the church board has reviewed the evidence. Your son stole from our mission fund. The $20,000 for African orphans? Gone?" Valerie's face crumpled. "He wouldn't. The financial records don't lie, and neither do the text messages where you helped him cover it up. But I'm committee chairwoman. Not anymore." 3 months later, my new apartment was small but perfect. Clara was growing fast, and I'd started a job in Maxwell's company's marketing department, on merit, he insisted, showing me my impressive portfolio. "How's it going?" Sophia asked during our weekly dinner. "I actually feel happy. Clara's daycare is amazing and work challenges me in the best way." "And Maxwell?" Sophia wiggled her eyebrows. "We're taking it slow. He respects boundaries." My phone buzzed. Another text from Derek. Since being charged with fraud and facing civil suits, he'd been sending daily apologies. "Delete without reading?" Maxwell asked, refilling my wine. "Always." The doorbell rang. A courier delivered an envelope, divorce papers from Derek's girlfriend from before me. She'd never actually finalized things with him. "So he was still married when you were together?" Sophia gasped. "Apparently." We all burst out laughing. 1 year later, I watched Clara take wobbly steps toward Maxwell at the park. Derek was serving 18 months for fraud. Valerie had moved away after being ostracized from her social circles. "She's fearless," Maxwell said, catching Clara as she tumbled into his arms. "Like her mother," Sophia added. Looking at my daughter's joyful face, I realized something important. The best revenge wasn't about Derek's punishment. It was about our happiness despite him. We weren't just surviving, we were thriving. "Ready to head home?" Maxwell asked, his hand finding mine. Home. Not just an apartment, a real home, built on trust and respect. Absolutely. What would you have done in Jasmine's position? Should she have given Derek another chance after his apologies? Or was she right to completely cut him out of her and Clara's life? Do toxic people deserve forgiveness after causing so much damage? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you have handled things differently? If you enjoyed this revenge story, Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling stories about overcoming toxic relationships and finding justice. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload.